Relationship advice. Found my husband cheated? Should I kick him out? I'm a 46-year-old woman, and my husband is 51. We've been together for 22 years, and for most of that time, I believed we had a solid and loving relationship. He has been my companion through the ups and downs of life, and despite his shortcomings, I stood by him. He hasn't worked for the past 15 years, leaving me as the sole provider, but I accepted that responsibility because I loved him and believed in our partnership. I've shouldered all the financial burdens, rent, bills, groceries, and I never complained because I thought he appreciated and respected me. Lately, though, things have felt different. He's been glued to his phone, texting non-stop, and when I casually ask who he's talking to, he becomes defensive. He snaps at me, accusing me of being suspicious, paranoid, or even crazy. His anger has left me questioning myself. Was I really overthinking? Was I imagining things that weren't there? I tried to suppress my doubts, but the nagging feeling in the back of my mind wouldn't go away. A few nights ago, I woke up in the middle of the night and realized he wasn't in bed. I went to the kitchen and found his phone sitting on the counter. I hesitated. Part of me didn't want to invade his privacy, but another part of me felt like I needed answers. I picked up the phone, unlocked it, and started scrolling. What I found made my stomach drop. There were messages to a 25-year-old woman. He called her beautiful, told her he loved her, and asked for explicit pictures and videos. I felt a wave of nausea, but I kept scrolling. The messages weren't limited to her. There were other conversations with multiple women on social media accounts I didn't even know he had. Some were flirty, others downright sexual, but all of them betrayed the trust I thought we had. I felt frozen, numb. I didn't cry, scream, or even get angry at that moment. Instead, I turned off my emotions and started folding his clothes from the closet. I needed to keep my hands busy, to do something, anything, while I processed what I had just seen. When he came into the room, he looked confused. "What are you doing?" he asked. I didn't respond. I held up his phone, and the panic in his eyes confirmed everything. He stammered, tried to take the phone from me, but I didn't let him. I started reading some of the messages out loud. His face turned red, and instead of apologizing, he exploded. "You're insecure," he yelled. "You're crazy. It's just harmless flirting. You don't understand me." He went on and on, trying to justify his actions, telling me I was blowing things out of proportion. But the more he talked, the more I saw him for what he was, a man who refused to take responsibility for his actions. He tried to turn it around on me, accusing me of probably doing the same thing. "I know you've been talking to other guys too," he said. I laughed bitterly because the idea was so ridiculous. I've been nothing but loyal to him for over 2 decades, and this is how he repays me? I told him I was done. Cheating, whether emotional or physical, is a deal breaker for me. I've always been clear about that. My father cheated on my mother when I was young, leaving her for another woman, and I saw the devastation it caused. I swore I would never allow myself to be in a relationship where I wasn't respected. When I told him he needed to leave, he looked at me like I had betrayed him. "I have nowhere to go," he said. "I have nothing and no one." I told him that wasn't my problem anymore. He's not my child, and I'm not responsible for him. That's when he started insulting me, calling me a fat, crazy bitch, and blaming me for throwing away our relationship. I stood my ground and told him he could sleep on the porch until he figured out his next move because he wasn't staying in the house with me. He tried to guilt trip me, saying I was heartless, that I was giving up on him when he needed me most. But in that moment, I realized that he had given up on me long before I gave up on him. Since then, I've been going back and forth between anger, sadness, and doubt. Was I too harsh? Did I overreact? A part of me feels guilty, but another part knows that I deserve better. For years, I've been carrying the weight of this relationship alone. I've been the one working, providing, and keeping everything afloat while he sat back and did nothing. And now I find out he's been disrespecting me behind my back? We live in Illinois, and we rent our home, so I'm not sure what my legal options are in terms of kicking him out. I feel trapped in this limbo, not knowing what the next steps should be. But one thing I know for sure is that I can't stay in this marriage anymore. It's not just about the cheating, it's about the complete lack of respect, accountability, and partnership. I feel like I've wasted 22 years of my life on someone who doesn't value me, but at the same time, I'm determined to move forward. I don't want to be someone who stays in a toxic relationship out of fear or guilt. I want to be someone who chooses herself. The days following our confrontation have been a whirlwind of emotions and challenges. My husband has been sleeping on the porch, and the tension in the air is suffocating. I've tried to maintain my composure, but the hurt keeps bubbling up every time I think about those messages or hear his half-hearted attempts to justify his actions. He's still trying to manipulate me, switching between angry outbursts and pitiful pleas. One moment he's yelling that I've ruined everything, calling me ungrateful for the good years we shared. The next moment, he's apologizing, saying he made a mistake and begging me to give him another chance. He keeps insisting it was just flirting, not real cheating, but I can't unsee the words he wrote or the disrespect he showed me. I reached out to a close friend for support, someone I've known for years and can trust. She was shocked when I told her everything. "You've been holding this marriage together by yourself for so long," she said. "You deserve better, and you've always deserved better." Hearing her validate my feelings gave me some strength, but it also made me realize how isolated I've felt in this relationship. I've been so focused on keeping everything running smoothly that I lost sight of my own needs and worth. I also started doing some research on the legal side of things. I learned that in Illinois, since we're renting and both of our names are on the lease, it won't be as simple as just kicking him out. I may need to consult a lawyer or figure out how to navigate the situation legally. I hate that it's come to this, but I'm preparing myself for the road ahead. Meanwhile, he's been making small efforts to get back into the house, offering to do chores, saying he'll change, even crying in front of me. But it all feels hollow. It's not remorse for his actions, it's desperation because he knows he has nowhere else to go. Every time he tries to appeal to my sympathy, I remind myself of how he betrayed me, disrespected me, and then blamed me for his own choices. The hardest part has been grappling with the memories of our life together. 22 years is a long time to share with someone, and it's painful to reconcile the man I thought he was with the man he's shown himself to be. I keep asking myself, was it all a lie? Or did he just stop caring somewhere along the way? Either way, I can't keep sacrificing my happiness and dignity for someone who doesn't value me. I've started looking into therapy for myself. I know I need to work through the anger, sadness, and betrayal I'm feeling, and I want to come out of this stronger. I don't want this experience to define me or make me bitter. I want to heal, rediscover who I am outside of this marriage, and rebuild my life on my terms. As for him, I've made it clear that this is the end. Whether he believes it or not, I'm done. I've given him a deadline to figure out his next steps because I can't keep living like this. It's not fair to me, and it's not sustainable. In the quiet moments when I'm alone with my thoughts, I remind myself that I deserve better. I deserve respect, love, and honesty. And while the road ahead feels daunting, I'm determined to move forward. This isn't the life I envisioned for myself, but I'm learning to embrace the possibility of something better, something brighter, something that's truly mine. For more interesting daily life stories, make sure to subscribe and comment your ideas. I will be posting more stories about a lot of aspects of life. Thanks for watching. See ya!